Okay, some more incidents in the life of Elisha the prophet. This is kind of an interesting one here. 2 Kings chapter 5. Now Naaman was commander of the army of the king of Aram. Aram, of course, is north of Israel. We identify today with Syria. And these guys have been a major thorn, and will continue to be, a major thorn in Israel's side. There was a stretch of time there for 100 years, or 150 years maybe, where Israel's biggest enemy was Aram. And this is during that time. So Naaman is an enemy of Israel. I mean, the king of Aram and the Israelites, they've been at each other's throats now for a couple of generations. And Naaman would be the commander of the army, so he's an enemy of Israel. He was a great man in the sight of his master, and highly regarded, because through him the Lord had given victory to Aram. He was a valiant soldier, but he had leprosy. Now this word that we use, that we translate as leprosy, doesn't really apply, isn't really about actual leprosy as a disease that we call it today. It's some kind of a skin disease, and we really don't know what. And that's basically true every time you see that word in our English Bibles. Whenever you see the word leprosy, it doesn't really refer to leprosy as we know it today. It's some kind of skin disease. We don't know really what it was exactly. Now, bands from Aram had gone out and had taken, raiding parties in other words, had gone out and taken captive a young girl from Israel, and she served Naaman's wife. This would have been completely common back in the day. You have these raiding parties that raid villages and take captives, and this is one of those captives. That's just how it was back then. This girl, this captive girl, is not going to get her freedom. The story does not end with this captive girl being set free. That is not the point of the story. So this sort of thing was just how this world worked back then. And they all accepted it. They may not have liked it, but that's just how their world was. So she said, she, the captive, served Naaman's wife. She said to her mistress, "If only my master would see the prophet who is in Samaria, he would cure him of his leprosy." She's not concerned for her own freedom. She's not asking for her own freedom. She's asking for peace for her master, her wife's, her mistress's husband, who is afflicted with this disease. Naaman went to his master and told him what the girl from Israel had said. That's the king of Aram. His master is the king. "By all means, go," the king of Aram replied. "I will send a letter to the king of Israel." So Naaman left, taking with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 sets of clothing. He's going to buy his healing from this prophet. The letter that he took to the king of Israel read, "With this letter, I am sending my servant Naaman to you, so that you may cure him of his leprosy." By the way, for the next few chapters, the king of Israel is not going to be named. So we cannot identify which king this is strictly from these stories. Because for the next few chapters, we're going to be dealing with the king of Israel who is not given a name. It could be Jehoram, the guy that we saw earlier, the other son of Ahab, the second son of Ahab to be king. It could be a later king. This could be happening. Elisha's ministry lasted a long time. So this could be a later king that could be coming after Jehoram or after the house of Ahab. All right, we don't know. We just don't know when this happened. This could be fitting. This could be fitted into the timeline anywhere in Elisha's ministry, which goes from about 850 to BC to 800 BC. So it could happen any time during that time. So we don't know which king exactly this is. It could be the very next king, the one that we're dealing with now, Jehoram, or it could be one of his successors. It could be even someone who's not a member of the house of Ahab. We just don't know, because the text doesn't identify him. And this part of Kings is not written chronologically, so this could be happening any time during Elisha's ministry. As soon as, so anyway, wait, where am I? The key, okay, so he's gone. The letter that he took to the king of Israel read, "With this letter, I am sending my servant Naaman to you, so that you may cure him of his leprosy." As soon as the king of Israel read this letter, he tore his clothes and said, Am I God? Can I kill and bring back to life? Why does this fellow send someone to me to be cured of his leprosy? You see how he is trying to pick a quarrel with me? So this king believes, or whichever king this is, believes that the king of Aram is going to use this as a pretext for war. The king of Israel, whether it's Joram or Jehu or somebody after them, he is being set up, in his mind, he is being set up to fail because he is not going to be able to cure Naaman, and that will give the king of Aram the reason he needs to justify an attack on Israel. When Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his robes, he sent him this message. Remember, Elisha is out with the people. He's not a hermit and hiding all the time like Elijah was. Why have you torn? So I don't know how he got the message. I don't know if we're through the grapevine or I don't know. He just somehow did. So he sends a message back to the king. Why have you torn your robes? Have the man come to me, and he will know that there is a prophet in Israel. So Naaman went with his horses and chariots and stopped at the door of Elisha's house. Elisha sent a messenger to say to him, Go, wash yourself 7. So Elisha himself is not seeing him face to face here. Wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan, and your flesh will be restored, and you will be cleansed. But Naaman went away angry and said, I thought that he would surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God, wave his hand over the spot, and cure me of my leprosy. Apparently it was not all over his body, it was over just a spot, apparently. And cure me of my leprosy. Are not Abana and Pharpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than any of the waters of Israel? Couldn't I wash in them and be cleansed? So he turned and went off in a rage. Naaman's servants went to him and said, My father, if the prophet had told you to do some great thing, would you not have done it? How much more then when he tells you, wash and be cleansed? So he went down, they talked him out of it. He was going to go away and not be healed. But they said, hey, if you were coming there, you brought all these gifts, you brought all this tribute, you were expecting some great thing to happen, and he just told you to go take 7 baths, wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan. Just go do that, see what happens. So he went and dipped himself in the Jordan 7 times, as the man of God had told him, and his flesh was restored and became clean like that of a young boy. So it's not only was his spot taken care of, his flesh was restored and became young again. I'm at the point now at 40 years old where I can tell that my skin isn't as young as it used to be. All right. When my nieces and nephews were born, and as they grew up from infancy to toddlerhood to children, childhood age, it's like I was amazed at how smooth their skin. I was in my 30s at the time. Now I'm in my early 40s. And it's like, wow, I forget this. As you get up and you're just used to your skin, and it's like it's easy to forget just how smooth the skin of a young child is. So Naaman here is not only having his spot cleansed, his skin has been restored to that of a child, smooth and clean and healthy again. Then Naaman and all his attendants went back to the man of God. He stood before him and said, Now I know. So now he is apparently face to face with him, apparently. Now I know that there is no God in all the world except in Israel. Please accept now. So he's professing an absolute statement of monotheism here. There is no other God. There's one God right here in Israel. It's this God. There's no God in Aram. There's no God in any of the other lands. This is it. This is the one God. I don't know if we've heard anybody say anything like that, especially not a Gentile. This is quite a statement this guy is making here. Please accept now a gift from your servant. He still wants to give him this stuff. This stuff that he brought to him, he still wants to give him. The prophet answered, As surely as the Lord lives, whom I serve, I will not accept a thing. And even though Naaman urged him, he refused. If you will not, said Naaman, please let me, your servant, be given as much earth as a pair of mules can carry. That's literally soil. He wants the ground of Israel to be with him when he goes back to Aram. For your servant will never again make burnt offerings and sacrifices to any other god but the Lord. That's L-O-R-D. That's the name of God, Jehovah, right there. But may the Lord forgive your servant for this one thing. When my master enters the temple of Rimmon to bow down, and he is leaning on my arm, and I bow down there also. When I bow down in the temple of Rimmon, may the Lord forgive your servant for this. So he will still take the physical action necessary to prove his loyalty to the king of Aram, but he is no longer going to be worshiping that God. In his mind and in his heart, he is not worshiping the God of Aram any longer, or Rimmon. Go in peace, Elisha said. After Naaman had traveled some distance, Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said to himself, my master was too easy on Naaman, this Aramean, by not accepting from him what he had brought. As surely as the Lord lives, I will run after him and get something from him. So Gehazi hurried after Naaman. When Naaman saw him running toward him, he got down from the chariot to meet him. Is everything all right? He asked. Everything is all right, Gehazi answered. My master sent me to say, 2 young men from the company of the prophets have just come to me from the hill country of Ephraim. Please give them a talent of silver and 2 sets of clothing. So Gehazi knows he can't ask for everything Naaman brought. That'd be too suspicious. He's going to make up a convenient cover story so he can get away with something, but not everything. By all means, take 2 talents, said Naaman. He urged Gehazi to accept them, and then tied up the 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 sets of clothing. He gave them to 2 of his servants, and they carried them ahead of Gehazi. When Gehazi came to the hill, he took the things from the servants and put them away. He doesn't want these guys telling Elisha what he did. So he wants to get rid of them before Elisha sees them. And put them away in the house. He sent the men away, and they left. Then he went in and stood before his master Elisha. Where have you been, Gehazi? Elisha asked. Your servant didn't go anywhere, Gehazi answered. Then Elisha said to him, was not my spirit with you when the man got down from his chariot to meet you? Is this the time to take money, or to accept clothes, olive groves, vineyards, flocks, herds, or men servants and maid servants? Naaman's leprosy will cling to you and to your descendants forever. Then Gehazi went from Elisha's presence, and he was leprous, as white as snow. That means he's unclean. So he is not going to be excommunicated from Israelite society because he is unclean.